Samus Aran, one of Nintendo's most famous characters, has stolen the show since Metroid's release for being one of the few badass female characters in gaming. Samus has appeared in media of all sorts, most notably every game of the Super Smash Bros. Series, so it only seems fit that she would have representation in Nintendo Land with the game Metroid Blast. There are two types to play Metroid Blast. One player controls the ship, and up to 4 control multiple Samuses on the ground. Due to not having Wii Motion Plus, we were unable to control the Samuses, but the ship's controls are as follows. The left stick controls the ship's movement, while the right stick is used to both rotate and adjust altitude by using left and right, by moving the stick left and right or up and down respectively. Clicking either stick provides the ship with a boost, while LZ zooms in and RZ shoots, while holding RZ charges up a missile. All aiming is done by tilting the gamepad. The game is very stylistic, with every enemy in the game being a robot with a large button as a weak point. Samus's ship is almost the same size as Samus, and Samus is hanging out of the top of her ship. The world is also very sterile looking and looks kind of like a testing facility, although most of the levels are kind of city-based, with the exception being the cave level. The game features 3 modes, the bulk of the game taking place in Assault Mode, which features 20 levels and 10 bonus levels. The Assault Mode features 5 different types of levels. Most levels are the Clear the Stage variant, simply requiring the Samuses to clear the stage of all enemies without losing all 3 lives. The next type encountered is Token Collect levels, where players must collect 12 tokens scattered around a level within a time limit and without dying. Occasionally there are Defeat X number of enemy levels, where players must beat all the enemies of a certain type within a time limit, usually only fighting enemies that take 1 hit. There's also a single Protect Your Allies stage, where 3 Samuses must be defended from attacking enemies until the timer runs out, most of the enemies being Metroids. Lastly, there are 2 boss battles, the first with Kraid, who must have his buttons shot and then missiles shot down the hole in his mouth, and Ridley, who must have his buttons shot, so the big one on his back is exposed to be shot. The game also features 2 versus modes, surface-to-air combat, which is ship versus the Samuses, and ground battle, which is all the Samuses facing. Most of the Nintendo Land games suffer from the same problem. They get repetitive, but gladly, Metroid Blast is the opposite, with many new features being added throughout, and surprisingly, the game actually feels too short. We didn't get to experience the multiplayer modes, but assuming they're as good as the single-player mode, Metroid Blast would easily be one of the best parts of the collection, so Metroid Blast earns a 9 out of 10.